Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play, where we're going to be diving right into a lot of work at Elite Zoo North. Again, the animal count is coming very close to that 200 milestone, and the guest count is fluctuating roughly around 4K pretty consistently. And again, we are also pretty consistently fluctuating between the 5-star and just below 5-star rating. Overall, feeling pretty good, folks, as we dive on in. And on that note, I just want to say really quickly, y'all are awesome. As I always say, folks, if you've been enjoying this series and you want to see it continue, don't hesitate to let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. It does make a very big difference in how I approach content on the channel. I enjoy reading through the comments. I look at the number of likes and comments to get a quick read on people's interest levels. But the reason why I say today especially, you guys are always awesome, but today especially, that last session, I thought, I was really worried about how people would feel about it because of the crashes and things like that. I was feeling pretty down as well. Like, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I wasn't having the best day, unfortunately. And y'all came through in the comments. And honestly, reading through those comments, it made me so happy. I wanted to say thank you for being awesome. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you. It was great reading through those comments. Honestly, words can't express it. We've got a lot of great plans today, though, so I want to dive basically right into it. There's a lot of work to do, so not a long, drawn-out intro today. Just wanted to mention, as always, likes and comments keep the series going and alive. Wanted to say as well that yes, I was very happy with the thumbnail for last episode. Many of you commented on how you like the thumbnail. I was pretty happy with it as well. Obviously, the angles aren't the same anymore because it plays a little bit when you move forward, but yeah, excited to complete the India, or rather not India, there's still a lot to do for India. Excited to complete the elephant enclosure today. That's the bare minimum we'll be doing. It's a mammoth task ahead of us, huh? But God, I feel bad about that one, but I'm excited to complete that. However, maybe we'll start with that. Well, one thing I want to do, as always, minimal management stuff with regards to our animals and whatnot. There was an interesting suggestion brought up in the comments, actually, which I might try to integrate in the near-ish future. And that is, now that our money is mostly stabilized, I should maybe consider making non-breeding pairs. I was looking for the words, having one of those days. Because we don't need, we don't have the financial pressure anymore of needing to sell these guys as often. So, like, especially with like the Titan beetles and things like that, maybe we stop with the breeding pairs and we just go with bachelor sets instead. And that way we don't have to manage them so much, because it does take some time. It makes us some quick money, though, which is why guys have the same name, which is why I'm not in a rush to, very uncreative parents over here, just naming them both, as they just got lazy after so many kids. Sorry, I keep interrupting myself. It's a nice cash injection every once in a while, so I don't quite mind it, if I'm completely honest. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. As always, I want to know what you guys think, because it's relatively quick, but it does, take some time to organize and arrange all this. And we could very easily, quote unquote, avoid it, so to speak, if we were to just keep bachelor sets as opposed to breeding pairs. However, little cash injections are always nice. Can't ever have too many cash injections. You never know when the polar bears are going to come through and take all your money. Let's go ahead and add Bianca and Enrique over here. Send y'all to the trade center. Let's do this in 2 steps over here. Also, yeah, filtering by species rather than age, I think, is definitely the way to go. It makes me feel a lot more comfortable that I'm not about to lose one of my, like a breeding pair or something. Look at all these. I wish you could see these when you're actually picking them to trade out. And let's go ahead and quick trade an easy 20K. See, that's what I mean. Even though money isn't an issue lately, how can you say no to an easy 20K, right? Like, oof, that just feels like the wrong call. We do need to get a mother green iguana. So it was reported in the comments that the father had passed away, but no, it was the mother that's passed away. So I just got to keep that in mind. But before we do that, oops, sorry, there we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of y'all. Not really happy about their habitat. Must be dirty, I guess. Despite our best efforts. Let's go ahead and do that. Clean some of y'all out. Yeah, it's almost therapeutic as well. Ooh, what's the problem here? I'm guessing Amelia needs to go. Eben needs to be renamed. All right, send y'all to the trade center. Yeah, but it almost feels a little therapeutic. It's just like a simple process to start the session with, gets us going, gets you in the right mindset, gets me in the right mindset maybe. I don't know. But again, curious what y'all think, because it doesn't take that long. However, if, you know, 90% of you say, it's boring, stop doing it, then I will. Sorry, where were we? I wanted to check a couple last things. So one of our snakes. Oh, no, I see. Oliver's the father. Eben is supposed to go. We'll trade him out later. And then I wanted to go ahead and make sure that our green iguanas had a mother, was it? Back over here. We really should start naming these exhibits as well. We really should start naming them as well. Where are we? Exhibits. We are looking for the green iguana. Where are you, buddy? Where are you? G for green, except it's not alphabetical. I will never get over the fact that it's not alphabetical. And we've seen quite a few patches come through as well, and none of them have gone so far as to make it alphabetical. I don't know if I'm missing something or something else. I don't know, but I just think it's kind of funny. So over here, keep reading that as Ayatollah. You are the mother. And let's go ahead and change the naming system over here as well. Xochipilli, I'm guessing is how that's pronounced. I don't know. I'm not very good at Nahuatl. That is the language that's all these names are based off of, I imagine. So that's that taken care of. Also, many of you were suggesting, quite rightfully, I believe as well, that rather than trade out all of the females and keep them all on contraceptives, we should just get rid of Yule. I think I was planning on keeping this situation, right, we weren't able to trade right out. I was thinking of keeping this situation for a couple of cycles because Yule does have some good genes. You'll be pleased to see those stats, I think. But to be fair, the female pronghorn antelopes here also have some pretty solid stats overall. Again, it's the top two that are the big ones to consider. And, you know, we're seeing some really good numbers, so I feel like I'm actually missing out on the opportunity with some of these. So we're going to go ahead and say farewell to Yule. What is wrong with the habitat here? Cleanliness is an issue. And enrichment is starting to become a bit of a problem as well. Toys are becoming boring. All right, well, we'll do that, but I'll save that for later. Let's go ahead and Yule, let's send you to the trade center. And let's go ahead and take a look at animal trading. For one, let's go ahead and see how much we can get. I mean, Wright is a golden specimen. Come on, give me at least... I would spend at least 100 on something like this. I feel like it's not unreasonable. Let's try it, right? Let's try 100, and then when Yule arrives, we'll try him for 100 as well. Because again, these are good stats. Better stats, actually. Longevity's higher, immunity's higher. Anyway, we have to unpause for that, though, and I think maybe it's time to unpause. Yes, it is time to unpause. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Yule is out. Let's go ahead and take a look at our animals here. Wait, sorry, not over there. What am I doing? Over here, animal trading, animal storage. Yule will send you out for, let's say, 120. A little bit more. Done. So that's that taken care of. We do have to get, however, a male. Not animal storage. I want to get a male pronghorn antelope. Where are we? There we go. Throw a grizzly bear in there. Why not? Ooh, Embry. Good stats for almost 1,000. Senor. Those are good stats as well. Not so good there. Ooh, 75, 100. Immunity is very low here, though. I don't know how I like that. 920. That's pretty expensive. These are decent stats. Not bad. Over 1,000. See, I feel like 100 for what I'm trading out is not bad. I feel like I underpriced, if I'm completely honest. Jeez. Maybe by a little much. All right, you know what? I'm pretty happy with... Wale, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, was okay. Suthley. Ontario over here, pretty good stats as well. Fertility's kind of low, but that'll be fine. Not too old either. All right, let's adopt you, Ontario. Got to stick with that name branding, right? Pop you in there for quarantine. Pop you in there for quarantine, I said. And what are these alerts that we're dealing with here? A little bit of alpha status fighting, that's not a problem. Feeding station cannot be reached. Okay, that is a problem. I guess I got to move you down over here. And you can't be reached either. Oh, I know why you... No, well... Oh, yeah, I see why you can't be reached. That's a problem that we'll be fixing today. For sure. Many of you pointed it out, and I was thinking about it as well during the time-lapse. I didn't realize it would be a problem immediately. Average habitat species welfare is over 83%. Great. Good to see. That is something I try to prioritize if and when possible. And the panda is finally getting some love. The elephant... All right, cool. This is good. Panda, let's go ahead and swap you out for someone who's a bit more experienced with research. Let's get some of y'all done as well. And do we need some more disease research going on? Oh, wow. We have researched all the diseases. Okay, let's get Claire in here, and let's get Megan. Let's get you working on those grizzly bears. Get the advanced research happening. Why not? Might as well do it, right? Might as well do it. We're fine. We're fine. Let's go ahead and say hello. Get some of those. Oops. That's just me? No, there we go. Yeah, that is just me. Cool. There we go. And... well, night has fallen. I really do like how the zoo is looking at night. It's come together really nicely. Some of the subtle lighting effects, some of the more interesting, you know, lanterns and stuff. I mean, geez, like, honestly, I'm really happy with how the zoo looks at night. Kind of wish it wasn't nighttime. Again, I can change the time. I want to minimize how much I just change the time. It feels a little... are you connected? You are connected. It just feels a little, like disingenuous, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Are you guys already failing? Like, I change it when I'm going to... oh, this is a problem. No, 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 no. There we go. Done. Stop rubbing faces. Stop it. Stop. Maybe we need to trade our mail out. Shanita, inbreeding. Winter is expecting offspring. Aw, recently failed conception. That's a very sad logo for it. Infertile. Recently... I mean, I guess that makes him really happy. Couple of inbreeding options over here, so I might actually swap James out. What do we have in the stud book here? Yeah, maybe we swap James out. Is he the alpha? He is. His genes or his genetics are okay, not that great. So I'm sure we can find a better mate for our bison here. Let's go ahead and move you. Release you into the wild. Not too old for that. Let's release you into the wild. Let's do that. Quarantine passed over here as well. It's nice to every once in a while just release them into the wild. I think at least let's move you in here. We've got an animal in a box. Get you out of there. And let's go ahead and take a bison. Over 600k. We're making bank, folks. We're making bank. All right, come on now. Show me the filters. Oh, come on, game. Just... these things need to get fixed. You kidding me right now? I can't change my filter. I can change this filter. I can change this filter. I can't change this filter. All right. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? All right, let me just check some other things real quick over here before we get into a time lapse. We're going to get into a time lapse pretty quickly. I want to check the India entrance section. If I edit the work zone, we do have these solar panels in the work zone. Okay, good. They're not reachable because the paths, I mean, they have to go all the way around here. I could just get this mechanic and pop him over there. Oh no, looks like we already had a mechanic over there. I was just about to say, as I was about to drop him, I was like, you know what, this actually feels disingenuous as well. Maybe I don't want to do this. But I was acting faster than I was thinking. But thankfully a mechanic has already gone there and looks like we've solved the problem. All right, sun is rising again. As that's happening, there are a few things I want to do. So many of you actually had some really interesting suggestions with regards to how we can try and solve our water issue over here. And I know it's maybe not the most fun thing to watch. Many of you, though, did say you enjoyed watching and liked watching the problem solving. And I mentioned last session as well, the reason why I keep it in is because I like to show the problem solving for any other people that are suffering from issues later on. What is going on here? There we go. Okay, you know what? I'm going to switch to any species in case that problem comes up again. And I'm going to... and now I can't close this. What? Yeah, it's like the menu's not registering or something. Okay, this is fun. Losing my train of thought. What was I as I hear the train go by, what was I saying? Well, as I try to remember, sorry. Keep losing my trains of thoughts, and I remember many of you asking to see the babies. Unfortunately, no albinos, it seems like, but many of you asked, oh, can we see the babies at the top of the episode? And I kept forgetting because I kept getting distracted by alerts and stuff. But let's take a moment and get distracted by these kittens as I try to remember what I was saying. So we're going to get a bison. We need to get a new male bison for Yanasi Plains. Got to make sure the breeding stays up. My God, they're so cute. Run, run. Oh, they're so cute. Man, tigers. Too bad no albinos, but it's okay. We still have some generational cycles that we can do. Right, Yanasi Plains. I was going to go ahead and try to get some more bison, and then we're going to, try and figure out how many animals am I going to sort through. Okay, now the clicks are working. Fine. American bison. Need a male. Looks like we've got some. That is not worth 5,000. Come on. 10,000. No. Don't be silly. Let's see cash listings as well. Let's see all the listings, because we can afford some expenses. Wow, really not that many listings, eh? Let's go with male only, please. Okay, now the clicks are all working. I don't know what did it. Something did it. All right, looks like we have to spend some conservation credits. Not the end of the world. Not spending too much. 445 is not bad. Decent stats. Let's go ahead and move you into quarantine, please. There we go. Looks like the inspector is arriving soon, or is here, or something. I can't see the tooltip right now. All right, where was I? Male bison coming through, and right, I do want to show trying to fix the water issue over here. Again, there were some great suggestions. There was a variety of suggestions that I want to try, and I figured I'll try them while we're playing, because that way the snow will pass, and then we can get into our time lapse. It's all right. Male in. Oh, they're about to mate. Is this how it's done? I mean, that was just adorable. And now they're what, synchronized running? Time for some synchronized swimming. Maybe looking for some privacy. Getting to their gazebo. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and give them some privacy. Well, we might have some baby pandas, folks. We might have some baby pandas. Okay, I just keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. All right, let's stay focused here. Come on, party. You can do this. Right. So I wanted to deal with this. So, an excellent suggestion that I saw was that once we stop this from being tested, we can maybe use a concrete barrier. There's a couple things. I might actually need to pause it for this. Rather not. Looks like we do have alligators in the water. Or alligators, crocs in the water. Keep saying alligators. Look at them run when they get out, though. Oh, you know, this is pretty cool. I'm glad I got to see the view from up over here actually being used properly. The baby's up out of the water as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the water real quick. All right. No, actually, don't do that. I'm going to have to pause it, folks. I forgot about just how much of a headache it can be to undo and redo. So, okay, if I have to pause. We're going to wait until the snow goes. My apologies. The snow is a little too dense. I want to get rid of the animals. These guys, you know what? Let's go ahead and move all of you, actually. This actually works out. I guess it's because I got rid of the water when they were in here. So all these animals, we're going to move you to, I guess, the trade center. Yeah, let's move you to the trade center. 9 of you. And we're going to get all these animals as well. Hopefully the snow goes away soon. Move them too. Happiness might drop temporarily as people come here and don't see any animals, but they'll, whatever, we'll deal with it. Money's okay that we can afford a couple of refunds and it's not the end of the world. So that'll be fine. Oh man, crowds are finally coming here now. Are you kidding me? Quarantine passed. Go ahead and move you into the plains. I do wish that franchise mode would allow you to control the weather. Oh my god. I love catching these moments. Okay, too many people are walking up this way where we have no donation bins or anything, so we need to really sort that out. Path. Next to you. Those guys are going to be stuck there, unfortunately. They can go up that way? Not really. Just a couple of guests that are stuck out over here. Can move them over. Don't really want them coming out this far. Because they're... I haven't got the education and stuff done yet, is the thing. I want to get all that done before I allow people to come here. Move you over this way as well. Drop the path all the way to there, sure. Move you over too. And let's get you... There's no way out. There's no way out except for by my hand. Stop moving. There we go. There's no room to queue. Oh, okay, that's fair enough. I saw there's no option for it. I was like, what? Have they added, like, options for foods? Anyways, yeah, we'll get all the pathing re-established once everything's working. But sorry, I was more excited to see this working. All are happy. Toy enrichment's a little low. Oh, just barely able to fit. Glad we saw Siddharth standing in here as well. You're not stuck, are you? You are able to get out. Let's check. Yeah, you're able to get out. Backwards. You just gotta rotate and go back. Fair enough. Fair enough. Snow's still falling pretty thickly. Again, I wish in franchise we could shift between climates and stuff. Because it's hard to time-lapse in this kind of a setting. It's not as dense as it was before, though, so you know what? Let's go ahead and get our Crocs in here. What's the alert? God deck is unhappy. Why are you unhappy? Temperature's too cold? Okay, well, that's because you're in a cold zone. Well, let's go ahead and send you to the trade center. We're going to send all of them to the trade center. Again, I feel bad for the guests who have just arrived, but this is a necessary step. Send you to the trade center. Yep. That little jittering of the game made me nervous. Okay, so go ahead and pause. There's a couple things we have to do. So step one is we're gonna go ahead and hope I'm gonna try to be quick about this. I don't want to spend too much time on this, so bear with me, folks. But I hope you don't mind me trying to problem solve over here. So first things first, we're gonna get rid of the water. All right. We're going to add a concrete barrier. I'm going to send that barrier through... What's the problem here? Are you obstructed by the tracks? Guessing that's the problem. Looks like that's the problem. You're going to make me delete the tracks, aren't you? Okay, fine. So, let's get the water back. I'm not going to delete all the tracks, of course. Just going to delete them where I'm going to be doing my tests. So, that's not what I meant. Not the move tool, the edit track tool. There we go. So over here, go ahead and delete you and delete you. All right. Close you and let's try this out. So the water, we get rid of you first. So the intent of this method is to use the process of elimination to figure out where the problem lies. So we're going to try and seal off different parts of the enclosure and see when the problem starts, basically. Let's go ahead and lengthen you out a little bit. No. Do that. If we do that, can we put water down over here? Interesting, the water goes right through. And it is the wrong height. So I guess this isn't watertight. Looks like it should be. We go right to the edge there. We go beyond the edge over there. How's the water getting through? How are you getting through? This method was supposed to work. Alright, what's going on here? What's going on here? You're all connected. Okay. So one thing we can definitely confirm is that construction items aren't causing the obstruction. That was frustrating. I was hoping it'd be a little bit easier to do this method, but I guess not. Go ahead and undo and get the track back if that's not going to work. Another thing that was suggested is that it's very possible that some of the work I was doing over here is what has caused the change in obstruction levels. I was doing a fair bit of work over here. I don't know what it might be. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of the water. Get rid of some of the pathing over here. Let's try this. Now if we try to add the water. No, it's still obstructed. Okay. Well, it's like got to be a combination of things. Oh man, okay, this is, let's just check real quick if the tigers are near the water. The tigers are currently not near the water, so it wouldn't be the tigers that are doing it. In fact, okay, there's a couple ways we can, okay, so here's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and check. Get rid of the water over here, and we get the terrain, and we raise the terrain, and we seal this off, right? Then the water fills, no problem. So we know it's not the tiger section, all right? Well, one problem solved. So now if we go over here and we do this, and I go ahead and sculpt the terrain and say we flatten to... The terrain sculpting makes me nervous because, well, I guess I could use the cube. Reduce the height, reduce the width. Go ahead and rotate you. Let's make the width bigger. Oh, okay, I see. It's a square. It's not a rectangle. It's a square. It's unfortunate. Okay, not as easy to manage as I was hoping. So, okay, let's try at this height, flatten to foundation, right? Put a cutoff over here and see if the water is valid at the right height. Okay, well, that's not high enough, is one problem. So that doesn't really work. That's not how you do a proper test. Go ahead and undo some of that. I really want to solve this problem. If it takes me too long, though, I will stop. Like, my patience only goes so far. I will stop if it takes too long. How about that? That, the right height. We're obstructed up there. What about on this side? On this side, we're valid. All right. So we know, now we know the problem isn't on this side because we're at the right water level. Cool. So what is the valid height over here? So, okay, so what can we eliminate? We can eliminate the lanterns, right? Because the lanterns are in there. We can eliminate the boats because the boats are in there. We can eliminate the mud play box because the play box is in there. And we can eliminate this. Many of you were suggesting many different things. So I'm just going over the different suggestions. So we know it's none of that. Great. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and undo a little bit further. Right, and get back to here. And now I'm going to use the flattening. All right, this is working. This is what I was planning on. This is what I was trying to do with a concrete, but it didn't work. So I'm glad it's working with this. So now let's go ahead and pull you down this way. Right, and try to connect right up to the edge there. See, I think this is where the problem lies. Let's find out. So now, if I try to put the water on this side... Okay. But if I put the water on this side... Also a problem. Okay. Okay. Trying to figure out how much I should undo. So let's go ahead and undo... Back to here. Get rid of our path over here. Sorry. Get rid of our path over here, right? And let's try and get the terrain added over here, all the way through. Now, if I try to put the water in on this side, not allowed. On this side, also not allowed. What is the difference? Up over here, we had some path as well, but maybe it's just high enough. Okay, let's see. Go ahead and undo. I think maybe I overdid it this time. Let's go ahead and undo. Bring the path back, undo a little bit further. Let's go ahead and flatten up this way. Go right by the path. Right by the path. We've gone all the way to the edge over here. Yep. And if I try to add the water on this side, obstructed, but we're valid down over here. Kind of makes you wonder if it's not because of the general height of the train rather than anything else. Now we're valid at that height, but we're not valid at the proper height. Okay, looking more and more like it is the pathing, but do I have to redo all the pathing? Keep on doing over here. to make sure I don't lose my access to my water, basically. Okay, if I undo up to there... Because if I lose access to undoing to the point that the water is back, then we're in trouble. All right. Now, over here, you're valid. Also not to the right height. Pull all this up. Now you're valid to the right height. God damn. Okay. I just gotta raise this whole thing up before I can do any more testing. I'm only gonna test for like another, like, 2 or 3 minutes, folks. I can't keep doing this. I'm sure it gets boring at one point, if it hasn't already. So thank you for sticking with, but I'm sure you understand the importance of the problem we're trying to solve. Alright, let's try and... Well, first of all, let's go ahead and undo and bring our water back, because I'm starting to feel a little nervous. Alright, let's bring our water back. And then we'll move forward. Okay, we've got reach to the water. So, undo. Flatten to foundation. Go right up to there. Go right up to there. Are we blocking? Yes, we are. Well, in some cases we're not. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and cut straight across and down. And then we'll loop up and include this area. Okay, hopefully. That's not what I meant. Oh, there's a little crack over there. There we go. So hopefully this works. No, you're obstructed. Why are you obstructed? Why are you obstructed? You're only valid down there. We got a crack over here somewhere? Yes, we do. This is really not a very foolproof method, is it? Why is it not sealing the gaps is what's weirding me out. It was working fine earlier. Working just fine earlier, but now, for some reason, it's like the game's like, oh no, he's figured it out. Let's stop him. There we go. All right, okay, okay. So yes, we are fine up to there. Over here, we are not. So what is included up over here? Yeah, you know what? I guess it might be the path. Oh, that's so frustrating. All right, well, is the path... How much of it can I really delete? I'm guessing it's got to be the path, but okay, it's fine. You know, it's not the end of the world. Go ahead and bring our water back. I'll just get rid of all the path and then try to put the water back down. And then we'll re-add the path. Not the end of the world. Right, it's not the end of the world. There we go. You're all undone. A little bit more left. Okay, great. Bring the water back. Just for our double check. Redo the... Well, actually, undo. Sorry. Undo. Redo. And then get rid of all of the path. Oh, man. That's going to be a pain. That's going to be a giant pain. What's so weird is that we added the path... Did we add the path after the water? I can't remember now. I can't remember. Alright, let's go ahead and do all that. Go ahead and move you. See, I distinctly remember moving this thing up to make room to add the water. Right, so that shouldn't be a problem. No, we are obstructed still. We are obstructed still. Are we valid on this side? Not even on this side. Alright, well, let's go ahead and try to sculpt this area. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and flatten the foundation. I'm gonna do a retest over here. Come on, just pick the thing up. Pick it all up. Pick it all up. Flatten to surface. There we go. Flatten to foundation, rather. Okay. Now this is my new test to make sure that it was the path. Okay, you're connected. You're not completely sealed off, because why would you be? Shouldn't be how flatten to foundation works. That doesn't help me either. I'm so worried I'm going to lose the undo. This is where I wish that franchise mode allowed you to save separate saves as well. Like, I wouldn't call that save scumming, because we're experimenting with a very weird construction limitation over here. All right, so that's gone. Are we able to put the water down? We are not able to put the water down. All right. Interesting. Interesting. We know it's not the barrier. Could it be these guys? It allowed us to fill it when we connected over to there as well, though. Did it not? Oh, no, I can't remember. Still obstructed. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I think we're just going to have to accept what it is, unfortunately. As much as I hate to say that. Because now I'm really nervous about these undos. At one point, we're going to go too far, and it's going to be the end of the world. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Come on. I don't know. I might do it just off screen or something. I don't want to bore you guys with more of this. We've already done this for way too long. Bring all the pathing back. There it is. We went too far. We went too far, folks. We went too far. It's not the end of the world. Always lower the water, I suppose, or lower all the items that are on the water. Seems like it wasn't the ride. All right, I'm gonna do this as a time lapse or a quick cut or something, because I'm sure this is getting grating right now. It would be for me, at least. I mean, it is for me, but I'm gonna try and figure this out because now we have to. Here goes, folks. All right, time to rip this Band-Aid off. Initially, I actually wasn't going to do a voiceover for this time-lapse because I thought it was going to be a short time-lapse. Like, yeah, it'll take a little bit of effort to figure out exactly what's going on, but it shouldn't be that long. And boy, was I wrong. Was I very, very wrong. So I use the technique that I described earlier to try and... Sorry, the train did something silly there. I don't like how the flatten to foundation thing works when it's such a big height difference. But I use the terrain technique I was talking about to try and isolate the problem area. So I do want to give a big thanks to those of you who have been trying to help me figure this out, because honestly, it's a bit of a nightmare scenario, and y'all have been so patient, and some great suggestions have come through, and we're about to find out which one of those suggestions is closest to correct. As you can see, I'm kind of separating these segments out, like, okay, fine. So here we have minimal pathing. We're not in the bankrupt market. And it seems to be working. Okay, so is the problem with the marketplace? Because that's the gut feeling I've had for a little while, and some of you were pointing that out as well. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just some of the pathing down over here. Maybe it's a setting I have on. Nope, nothing, no luck. Get rid of some more pathing over here. Let's go ahead and see if if this will work. My God, I'm just like looking back at this footage. Really making me feel all the emotions. I was so stressed out that we were just never going to figure this out, and I'd have to adjust the height of the water and everything, because even still, it didn't work when I got rid of the path. It just didn't work, and I was like, what else could it be? And you can see I'm like messing around with the train over here. The flatten to foundation option doesn't really work as smoothly or as well as I would expect or want it to. But yeah, you can see, again, just like making some more adjustments, and I'm convinced that it's the marketplace, but there's no pathing left there. So I think now's about the time when I go with the nuclear option. No, we're almost there. I go with a pretty nuclear option, and honestly, that's what extends this time-lapse so far. And I do make a couple of mistakes here and there, if I'm completely honest, but they're not mistakes that we can't overcome. We overcome them pretty easily. And honestly, after we complete the task today, which we do complete this task today. After we do that, I have absolutely zero intention of A, coming back to this and redoing it all over again, or B, ever doing this again. I don't think I'll ever do this again. But yeah, you can see over here as well, struggling with the pathing system. Not struggling so much because like I don't get how it works, but struggling because of its limitations now. And for some reason, even though I'm using the same path with the same width, as you can see, I can't actually place the toilets down in the same spot. So now I have to adjust how this entire area works. And at this stage, I think is when I realized just how big of an undertaking this entire time lapse was going to be, because if the toilet blocks are causing this much issue to get rejoined to the path, then one can only imagine what the marketplace is going to be like. Anyway, still doing some more tests to make sure everything's working. So every once in a while you'll see I go over to Bagraba, and that's to make sure that the water levels are still working. And you can see when I get rid of the separator to this area over here, all of a sudden it stops working again. So I go, all right, fine. That means there's another issue somewhere. I can't remember now what it was. Oh, right. No. Okay, I remember what it was, and you'll see in a moment's time. But I go in, I dig in the terrain a bit more. I try to make some more room. I really wish, looking back at this, I wish I was a bit more thorough for when everything ended up working out, because, again, there are a couple of things that I would like to smooth out a little differently. I'm overall happy with how it looks, and there's no rush to change it or anything, but I just do wish that I'd taken my time. But obviously, as you can imagine, I think I ended up spending almost an hour on this time lapse. I'm trying to remember. So you can imagine I was pretty pretty tired of dealing with bodies of water by the end of this. Anyway, you can see like I'm slowly just trying to figure out where the height is an issue. And it's like, all right, well, it's working over here. It's not that. Is it something over here? No, it's not this. And then there we go. There's our culprit. There's our culprit. Oh, I see. Close to the end of this episode, you'll hear me talk about how I thought Adia, like I wasn't sure why she was in the trade center. You'll hear me talk about that at the end of the episode. This is why. Wow, that's how long the time lapses were today, folks. There's actually a second time lapse in today's episode, and between this one and that one, I completely forgot that this even happened. It's pretty funny for me to look back at it and go, "Oh, right." Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Anyway, back on topic over here. Just making the adjustments over here because I have to. I've basically at this point, you could call it admitted defeat. I've come to accept that things are not going to go as smoothly as I was hoping, and I'm going to have to make some serious adjustments to where the the boardwalk and all extend to. And you can see I actually get the railing there done as well, because many of you were pointing out that it's a little unrealistic. And there's a couple of spots where railings need to be added, included, around the tigers and the elephants and stuff. But we'll do that later. I figured I was working on this right now. I might as well do it right now. But you can see here now struggling with the pathing system. Again, struggling with the terrain and the pathing, and how the terrain and the pathing work together or don't work together. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to fix this once and for all. But yeah, it calls for some pretty drastic measures. You can see that this was me discovering that this section of path was in fact the biggest problem area. And I think one of you pointed that out in the comments that you spotted in a previous episode. After having done this section, water started causing an issue. And I suppose you were right. I think it was a couple of things, but that was definitely one of them. But yeah, here we are again, nuclear option time. Trying to build the pathing with all the stores in place is impossible, because the path wants to auto snap to the various stores. So I have to lift it up into the air and try and guess what the distances were like. Not only that, but I have to try and match the slopes, and how the game calculates slopes and in which direction is completely weird. Like I had to make the length longer for the slope to be shorter. I don't know, man, but it's working. I'm gonna say I don't know a lot in this time lapse, because honestly it was a lot of just trial and error and just trying to figure out why things are or aren't working. You can see in fact when I first tried to put this down, not all the stores were connecting and it was obstructed, and I was like, what's going on? This is seriously a nightmare scenario. But I wasn't happy with how some of the things had connected, so I had to undo all that. I wasn't happy with how Bankrupt Market's entrance looked either, so I had to disconnect that and reconnect this. And I also needed to make sure that our little outcropping area, like the deck next to the shops, I guess I could call it, where these two picnic benches are, that wasn't working either. So I had to go in and rebuild this a little bit. And I do it a couple of times, actually, you'll see. So that was the first time, I think. And while trying to bring our floating marketplace back down, I noticed a little lonely piece over there. But yeah, here you can see just trying to nudge things into the right spot to make sure everything's accessible, trying to make sure everything matches what it used to be as closely as possible at the very least. And then having to go in and reconnect these, washrooms and stuff. And again, some of the pathing is being redone. It's not, you know, exactly perfect to what it used to be, so I have to go in and make some adjustments to match the new situation. And it's not the end of the world. It's a little unfortunate because I was hoping I'd be done with this, but that was not the case, evidently. And here you can see finally trying to get this deck area. I don't even know what to call it really, but trying to get this done because it's I mean, it's a cool idea and I'd hate for it to not work. I don't know if it will work. I think it'll work. The benches look like they'll work. And then over here as well, obviously having to make this connection to the actual habitat. Again, having to adjust some of these pieces as a result of that. I have no idea why it's so different from what it used to be, but it is. That doesn't matter because, folks, it's done. It's over now. We don't have to worry about the water ever again. Unless I've missed something massive, which I don't think I have. We don't have to worry about the water ever again. So just capping off the end over here to make sure it all looks right and feels quote-unquote real, so to speak. But yeah, that's Southeast Asia and the water problem taken care of. All right, folks, we're back after ripping off a rather painful Band-Aid. My God, I cannot believe we fixed the problem. I mean, I'm grateful that we fixed the problem, but wow, that was a time sink. Let's go ahead and hit play. I need the snow to go away so I can get to work on the elephant enclosure. And actually, before we do that, we're going to hit save zoo real quick before things go sideways, just in case. You never know. Hopefully, people are able to reach everything over here. We're not seeing any warnings or anything with regards to being able to reach things. We do need to move animals back out over here. We also need to take care of the snow and stuff. Oh, man. Oh, this had to happen, didn't it? This had to happen. I had to leave a little part out. It's okay. We're going to go ahead and do that. It's fine. It's a little, oh, what's it called? Lake, pond, something, puddle, whatever it might be. It's something. I'm not going to redo all of that. Redoing this section was a pain. And it looks like people are able to walk through, so at least there's that. That was my one big concern when reattaching it, was that people would not be able to walk through anymore, but it seems like people are able to. And we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and... Ooh, nice. Let's go ahead and give people the reason to walk here again, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at our animal trading. This was suggested as a quicker way to bring people back. No. See, we can't... You can't... Why? Why can you not multiple select? What if... Hold on. What about if I go to the trade center, which is all the way over here, pretty far away, actually. No. Maybe I should have used the, quarantine instead. All right, well, looks like it's one by one. So go ahead and, what is this button? Doesn't give me a tooltip or anything. All right, well, move it is over to Crikey Creek with you. Go ahead and get Kadek over here as well. Let's go ahead and get Abiasa. Oops, there we go. You in here as well. Cool. So hopefully people will start coming through there. And then comes the real struggle, all the Cariel. We have a lot of actually really high quality Cariel. Once they reach adulthood, we should be able to make some good money off of them. But for now, into the grotto we go. Ooh, Idris has had some offspring. Don't worry, folks. We're definitely going to go check out the baby bears. In fact, let's go ahead and pause for a second here. We've got good weather as well. We've got good... time-lapsing weather. Let's go ahead and get all these guys coming. So Samar has been done. Rishi, you've been done as well. Daksha, let's go ahead and move you in. Gotta get all y'all moved in over here. Avni, move you in as well. That's actually a lot of really good specimen for the Gariel. Pihu, let's get you in here. And I don't know if we'll keep a better quality breeding pair, like Samar and Avni. Avni's pretty good. Do they only have daughters? We need some sons. We need some sons. Gotta get, actually, no, we don't. We only need, in fact, if we only have daughters, that's actually probably better, because then we just bring a son in. Not a son, but we bring a male in. Right? Well, we got Dhruv over here. Dhruv is not that great in terms of stats, though. And I believe that is everything we needed to do. So there we go. So y'all are coming through. Hopefully people are able to come through and check everything. Yeah, I had to adjust so much. God, that was painful. I'm not gonna lie. That was painful. But let's just quickly see what's the problem over here. What's the problem? Why can't you... Is it that these things aren't connected to paths and stuff? I would understand that being a problem. I might want to fix that actually right now. Could do. Go ahead and make you max size. Keep you a slope over here. Not the cleanest. Sure, that, you know what, that actually works better than what it was going to give me otherwise. To do that problem, it won't tell me. We have power, that's for sure. We did the power stuff last time. You're powered. You're powered. I guess it's got to be the pathing. It's got to be the pathing, right? Go ahead and place your entrance. Well, we'll have to actually, you know, another thing that I kind of wish I'd done is sculpted the train a bit more so you could actually see over the boat. But there's a minimum height that the train needs to be, so I was a little limited into how much I could sculpt the terrain. So I guess no regrets there, I suppose. All right, let's go ahead, place entrance on this side, place the exit in the middle here, and now let's see if we can actually make the paths connect. Last time it crashed when I was doing this. Let's hope it doesn't do that again. So let's see, you're the exit. Our exit, we can do the wood, and I don't think you need to be that big. Let's go ahead and do that, and then raise you up a step, and by now we should be at the right level. Yeah, it looks like we're at the right level. Cool. We can kind of do this sort of a thing, and then the entrance over here, we got to get our cues going. Okay, and we'll stylize this entrance and stuff later. For now, I just want to get the ride maybe actually working. Modification failed. There we go. A little bit of grass over here. I don't really like it. I wish the pathing system wasn't such a pain, I'll be honest. It is not my favorite pathing system. There we go. Let's go ahead and do that. How about now? Are you gonna work with me now? To lift you another step? I do not, I hope. I'll put you up there, and if I go ahead and get the regular path out over here, and connect you, and then the queue I can connect like so. I don't mind that. And we can do something interesting over here. Get some like rocks or something going on. So okay, you're good. So that's 2 out of 3 done. Well, what's your problem? Cannot open as the ride is untested. Ride must be open before station can be open or closed. Okay. Weird. Not the testing, but like the notifications. Anyways, we'll see how that goes. So this station over here, place entrance. Sure, and place exit right down the middle. Gonna go ahead and use our Indian style path that we've been using. Right? Go ahead and take you up right away, basically. Actually, I wonder if... Let's try this. Angle snap. At 45 degrees. Reduce the length as much as possible. Can I do this? I can. All right, cool. So if I go ahead and connect like so, I just want it to be like a clear connection. Like I don't want it to obstruct anything. There we go. So people exit and they go up that way, and the entrance will be in the same kind of area as well. Let's go ahead and pull you out. How do you calculate a radius over here? That's not gonna let me connect that way. Fair enough. Well, what I'll do instead then is what I could do is I could do reduce that. Get you going. Sorry, gotta flatten that. There we go. Make a little chicane over here, and hopefully we'll be able to connect. We can't connect over here. Okay. What about... Try this. Let's try this, folks. Gotta up the length a little bit, maybe. No, it's not gonna let me do that. Not gonna let me do that. That'll mess up with this. All right, I mean, the easiest solution is, of course, to not do the chicane at all, and I think I'd be able to connect over here. What is wrong with 4, I guess, is the minimum? That is weird. Why are you looking so weird? Oh, no, that's... Sorry, width. One of those days, folks. It's one of those days, isn't it? If I flatten you, can I... No, nothing can go out of there. Okay, fair enough. Gotta find a way to connect this. I mean, the other option is, of course, to, like, extend for how long this is straight. Right, we can do... Where are we? Where's my path? Connect you there, do that, do this. And then begin this upward journey. Obstructed, of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? Okay. Can we go up by another step? No, the game just doesn't want to do this anymore. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's got to do the trick, right? Come on now. That's hideous. I don't really want that happening. Okay, there we go. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Perfect. Done. Done. And hopefully, well, I shouldn't say done yet. Shouldn't say that so prematurely. Beautiful. Cool, so you take the stairs down, and you loop in over here. You get on the train, and up top, are we able to actually keep this going? Well, we need to do the full width over here. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay, great. I just need to make a check there. All right, so we're done with all of these being set up, right? Except for the first one. Why is the first one causing an issue? Because you're untested. Well, I can't test you. Why can I not test you? Got the entrance and exit here set up. Let me just go ahead and quickly replace the exit. No, connect entrance to path is done as well. Okay, game. Oh, why you do this to me? Oh, there we go. Weird. I don't know why I was acting up like that. All right, so what we'd want to do over here, though, is if we take a look at settings. Right operations. So let's go ahead and set number of cars. Ooh, interesting. Did not expect that to happen. No, number of cars we'll keep to 3. That's fine. Max speed, 7 miles per hour, I think is fair. I've made this little thing over here, which is kind of... We'll add some vegetation to cover it up. But I've made that to prevent, hopefully, the alligator... Or the crop... I would keep saying alligators. Oh, here's the problem. Forgot about this. There we go. Go ahead and make you. Go ahead and make you. There we go. There we go. Good stuff. But yeah, so hopefully the crocs don't intercept the boat. That's my hope there. How can I add another boat? Like, I'd like to have multiple boats. I don't want them all to start the same spot. I guess that's what we've got to do. All right, fair enough. I'd like to get people using the boats soon. And overall cost we'll have to figure out as well. So number of cars, if we up you to 7, let's say. I was hoping we could start them at separate spots. But unless I'm missing a button, that doesn't seem to be the case. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our stations and our prices. I think $5, I think $7 is a good minimum for this thing. I mean, come on, this is a pretty great ride. There's some pretty great sights to see. So I'd say $7 we'll start with, and then we can up the price eventually, because once we get the rhinos in as well, this ride will be worth more, at least in my opinion. So okay, we've got pricing set up. I don't think we need to do a test. We have a pretty nice clear path now. We got rid of some of the messier things. People can use the boats to get to the elephants a better view from, or a better view of. Oh, okay, hold on a second. We've got another car here. We've got another. Oh, I see. Glad I checked. Glad I checked. So what I want to do is... That's how that works. That's why 3 is 1 each, and then when I hit 4, it pops a second one back there. Gotcha. Funny how that didn't occur to me right away. All right, fair enough. Well, we've got this set up. We might actually be able to start that as well and get people going around. Hopefully, we're going to see guests coming here soon. Vendors are able to get to their stalls. I imagine they can get to these ones as well, but that's all good. Oh man, what a nightmare this was. What a nightmare this was. Anyway, I'm not going to waste any time, I think. I think what we're going to do is check why Kadek is unhappy. Oh, it's because the last thing he was in the snow. Check if there's any issues here that we need to solve. Power source is inaccessible. That's not entirely accurate. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, let's go ahead and we'll make the path connection afterwards. Vet research is complete. More stuff for the elephants, perhaps? Pandas, elephants are complete. Wow. Went hard on those elephants. Let's go ahead and focus on those elephants. Uma, give us the advanced research. There isn't really much else to do. Any other major alerts? Nothing else to look at? All right, cool. So, folks, it's time, I think, for our time lapse over here. Let's go ahead and try to get the elephant area done. And finally call it on the, I call it elephant, but elephant and rhino. Sorry, my brain just completely stopped working there for a second. One thing I want to mention is that I didn't get, I've started compiling all the name suggestions, and I realized why I was having a hard time picking a name from all the fantastic suggestions I've been getting. The reason I've been having a hard time is because we don't yet know exactly how this is going to look when it's completed. Like, I've got some suggestions that include the word garden, for example. It's like, oh, okay, well, is this going to be a garden? So I realized that's why I was having a hard time picking. So hopefully today, when we finish it, I'll have an easier time picking a name for this area. Anyway, enough rambling, enough dealing with water obstructions and terrain issues and whatnot. We've got almost 650k in the bank. Let's spend some of that money to sort out this elephant enclosure. It's time-lapse time, folks. It is time-lapse time. All right, really happy with the results of this time-lapse. We get a lot done with the elephant enclosure. This is a very big project. The first thing I do actually is I remove some of these pillars, because some of you pointed out in the comments quite rightfully that maybe there were a bit too many and they became kind of an obstruction for viewing. Not in the terms of game mechanics, because these guys can see through walls and everything, but more in terms of realism, right? It was a little much. So made that adjustment, and now I'm going and getting the pillars on the other side. You can see some of the regrets I have with regards to how I adjusted the water without adjusting the terrain enough, but too late for that. It's too late for that. Also making the adjustments over here to try and make sure that our keepers are able to enter the area, because as y'all rightfully pointed out, and I realized at the end of the last session as well, that keepers can't actually get in here. So we're going to make some solutions to this, and hopefully it'll work out properly. In fact, I know that eventually one of our solutions does work out properly. Now, as I'm doing some of this mundane stuff, folks, I just want to mention something really quickly. I try to keep mentions of this to a minimum because I don't want to, bother people with it too much, but I try to do it just once a month at most, and we're at the start of February. So I just wanted to mention, now, folks, if you've been enjoying this series and you've been watching along for, again, over 40 episodes, now on our 41st, I'd like to ask, maybe you'd be interested in becoming a channel member or patron. If you'd like to become a channel patron, the link to Patreon is in the description down below, and also under the I at the top right corner of the screen. And if you'd much rather become a channel member, then you can click the join button that is in the, oh, well, that's just below. It's right below the video. It's the big join button. Should be there. But folks, I want to mention actually on that same note that I think it's finally time to maybe start naming some of our animals. And since we're working on the elephants and there's only 2 of them, it makes it a little bit easier to name them. So let's go ahead and get some name suggestions coming through. I will put a pinned comment down, and here's what I would suggest. So reply to that pinned comment with just your elephant name suggestions, so it's easy for me to go through. And one of the perks of being a channel member or a patron is actually having priority naming rights. So if you're a channel member, it's easy enough for me to see right on YouTube, because you'll have a little icon next to your name. But if you're a patron instead, then shoot me a private message on Patreon, and I'll see it there, and I'll put that into the pool. Now, everyone can give a name suggestion. I don't want to limit anyone from giving name suggestions. But when it comes time to, picking a name out of a hat, so to speak, I'll try and figure out a way that, members and patrons get priority picks. And apart from that, everybody else also gets a chance to get their names, tossed into the ring, so to speak. Again, it's one of the perks of being a patron and a member, which is why I have that going on. I hope you all understand and appreciate that. It's just an extra way of saying thanks to those of you that support them that way. Anyway, so as you can see, back on topic. Again, I try to keep it to a minimum. I hope you all understand. But back on topic, as you can see, we've gone ahead and started building an interesting, hopefully interesting passageway through the temple area over here. I want that boat ride to be interesting. Again, last session, if we discovered one thing about the boat ride, it is that there are some points of some serious blandness. And I don't want that. Right, we got elite in the name of the zoo. Elite is in the name of the company. I got to make all these things feel elite, right? So I'm making all the passageways here feel as cool as possible. At the same time, while I was rambling about naming the elephants, I also got the pillars off to the other side. I'm feeling really good actually about how this is coming together. It's a nice big-ish space. A comfortable space, I want to call it. And I think that's a big thing that I realized I wanted to do, was build comfortable spaces for these animals. It's been pointed out a couple times, especially with the crocodiles, for example, that there's just too much room. They don't need that much room. And totally, mechanically speaking, they don't need that much room. But I don't know if y'all feel this way, but I know a lot of the time when I go to the zoo, ever since I was a kid, when I go to the zoo and I'd see an animal and it was, it had enough space, but it didn't feel like it had enough space. That always made me kind of upset, I guess. And I don't want people to feel that way when they come to my zoos. I want them to come and I want them to go, wow, look at all this room this elephant has to roam around, to run around, to hide from people. So I don't mind having the enclosures being a little bit bigger than not. Over here, you can see I'm starting to try and figure out how I want the roofing to work. It's unfortunate that those curved wall pieces you can't actually rotate in all 3 dimensions, because that would make a beautiful and quick way to make some arching rooftops and stuff. But unfortunately, that is not an option. I quickly get distracted by these doorways over here and build that little section out. But yeah, just kind of ultimately, even at the end of this episode, you'll see that I'm struggling with ideas for the roof. I use some of these cylindrical pieces and some cube pieces to make some custom curved roofs, and I'm roofs. Just another rule that English doesn't follow. What a language, English. But yeah, so using these cubes and those round pieces to try and build an interesting, curved roof piece shape, or whatever we want to call it. Overall, pretty happy with how it looks, but again, the tiling textures just really kind of ruin it. I mean, I think so at least. Let me know if y'all agree or not, but the tiling textures make it stand out a bit, so I'll have to find a way to break it up. Overall, happy with the look of it and the shape of it, but I just wonder if I couldn't do something better. And the main reason I wonder that is because of those tiling textures. I wonder if there isn't a way to avoid it or do something more interesting. And I was also wondering, it's like, well, do we want to cover everything up, or do we want some areas where the sun can still come through? Lots to think about over here. And in fact, I don't complete the roof today. I'll let you know right away, because well, for one, I've been recording at this stage for much longer than I expected, so I was starting to get a little tired. And for 2, I just wasn't sure where I was going with it, and I didn't want to force a result. As y'all know, I like to, follow a design process over here. I didn't feel good about where things were going, so I was like, all right, we got to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to take some time out and think about it, and then execute this when I know what I want to do. So we'll probably do that, we'll probably cap it off at the top of the next session. So again, roofing, not very confident with it, not really sure what I'm going to do. So I decided to set that aside and get back to work on the central area. And man, I'm really happy with how this actually turns out. I'm really happy with how this turns out. I might actually have a name picked now for our for this enclosure based on what you're about to see. So I don't even know how to describe it. Well, I mean, I know how to describe it. I go for the slightly kind of like garden style look, I suppose. Think of it like, I don't know, I guess in my head, it's more of like a European style layout. That's not really right. I'm trying to place it really. It's like I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm inspired by. I feel like I'm inspired more like by Mediterranean or Middle Eastern style layouts, blended with Indian style layouts. But I mean, I don't know. I guess you do see a lot of this kind of stuff in Indian architecture as well. I don't know. Either way, I really like how this looks. Get kind of a garden vibe going, but maintain that temple look as well. By the way, that vegetation you saw me use there is called elephant ear, which, you know, was obviously one of the plants I had to use for this enclosure. But then also building this central area like more of a plaza type thing. So I feel really good about how this has ended up. I do what I can to actually adjust the bricks so they don't just repeat themselves either. And I try to actually let the grass through a little bit because I feel like that feels right. I don't know. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with how this has come through. And actually, as I was putting those little lily pads down was when, while recording the time lapse, I was thinking, wow, you know, I'm really happy with how this is coming along. So it's funny that seeing the same thing now while recording the voiceover, I feel the same way. Getting some more vegetation in. Actually, we end up with too much vegetation, which is strange to me because I was pretty sure that elephants are used to densely forested areas, but it doesn't bother the animal too much. But I might want to look into that. But here you can see I decide, you know what, let's make the central area a bit more busy. Let's add some more stuff to it without just, you know, making something random. It's nice to have a little bit of repetition in architecture, and as you can see across the board, all these repeating pillars and patterns and stuff, we have a lot of repetition going on. So why not repeat these central, you know, temple elements as well? And I really like how this trifecta looks. It just, there's something about it. And we add some more vegetation as well. You can see I'm having a bit of a time trying to select all the pieces. But yeah, just really happy with how this looks. It feels like people could actually have once been here and worshipped here, I guess, is the way to put it, or at least, you know, chilled here, if nothing else. I feel like you could chill here right now, and it actually gives the elephants more room to rest. So eventually when we have baby elephants, or when we get a third elephant, because I think the adult population they like is 3, we have room for all of them, and it's comfy and it's cozy and it's thematically fitting as well. So I am genuinely really happy with how that's turned out in the center there. And now just, again, trying to make another solution, or trying to extend my solution for the roof, but still feel the same way. I'm not convinced, I suppose, is the way to put it. So I'm going to, yeah, stick to the drawing board for a little bit longer. If y'all have any ideas or suggestions or thoughts or references, as always, share them in the comments. I love going through suggestions and thoughts. It's just a cool way to, you know, see more ideas. And then to cap things off, we're going to go ahead, get the donation bins in, get in the education boards as well. I don't want to have to break the path off again. I want to see people interacting with this structure. It's been, you know, we've made so much progress. I want to see it in action now. And you can see, unfortunately, power was a bit of a limitation, so having to work around that. It's unfortunate that the generator that has superior range upsets people so much for a much larger range as well, but we're working around it, just increasing the volume of the speakers significantly, and then needing to get the actual TVs in the right spots as well to make sure they're powered. And apart from that, you'll see at the end, we're also going to add education boards about poaching, because that's a very fitting topic for elephants of all kinds, and rhinos as well, should we eventually add the rhinos in. And I think I will. I think they will share a space. Hopefully it'll work properly like many of you suggest it does. And I use the little frame that we built inside the temple, or inside Bagraba, I should say. I use that as the frame for our board over here. But yeah, that's basically the time lapse for the day. There's still a little bit of work to do. I was hoping to finish this today, but alas, there's way too much to do. I hope you all understand. But we'll cap it off at the top of next session before we move on to something else. Back to regular speed. Alright, folks, that's where we're going to call it a time-lapse for today, I think. It's been a longer session than I expected, honestly. I didn't anticipate the Southeast Asia stuff would take so long, and I'm starting to feel it a little bit. And as you guys know, I like to call it when I start to feel it, because otherwise, well, if you don't, that's how you get low-quality executions, and I don't want any low-quality executions. This is an elite zoo. We cannot let our standards drop. Folks, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I don't know, what do you guys think? As always, I'm always curious to hear your thoughts, but I'm pretty happy with how this has come together. I really like the central piece that we've got, though I feel like it looks as though we are missing some decorative elements. Easy enough to fix. I just noticed that. I'm glad I noticed it at least. But yeah, it's come together pretty nicely, I think. The idea is that each of the elephants here will have a resting space. And even though they're not really going to stay loyal to their bedrooms, so to speak, I think it's a nice way to implement Well, it's a nice way to use up the space without just going generic, and it's also, I think, a nice kind of story, so to speak. It's nice to imagine that they each have their own little bedrooms here, or whatever you want to call them, sleeping areas, and I believe they'll be able to reach all of them. Let's go ahead and hit play and take a look. I've got education boards, donation bins, and everything all over the place. Oh no, you know what I don't have? I just realized, because I don't expect people to be as gross as they actually are, I haven't put enough garbage bins down. So just going to drop down some more garbage bins here and there, and then we can go ahead and hit play and see how people interact with this space. Hopefully they interact quite well. And as you can see, there's still some elements that need fixing. I think what we'll do is the next session, I'm hoping we'll fix up, and by fix up I mean complete the elephant enclosure over here, maybe even get the rhinos in, but complete the elephant enclosure. As you can see also, I was having, I don't know, I'm not set on what I want the roof to be like, and that's a big part of why I wanted to call it as well over here, because I still want to think about the roofing a little bit. But I'm hoping next session we can get the elephant enclosure done, and we can also hopefully maybe get, maybe we go back to Yanasi Plains, or maybe we, I don't know, what should we do next? What should we do next? I mean, I know one thing we should do that I thought I said I would do before the time lapse is let's go and take a look at our new baby bear over here. I realize I said we'd do that sooner, but there we go. Gowan? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but let's go ahead and unpause. And yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys want to see next. I'm thinking maybe we do Yanasi Plains. Maybe we take a look at what else do we have? What else do we have to finish? We could fill out some of the areas that need beautification. We could start to look at the Himalayan bears and the snow leopards and things like that. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of directions that we could head from where we are right now. There's a fork in the road, so to speak. First order of business, though, is going to be getting the Indian elephant enclosure done. Maybe we just get the rhinos in. The polar bears have been waiting for a long time as well. I do also have to update the train to make sure the train goes all the way up to the pandas. Animals will fight you to incorrect ratio. That's the thing we unpause to. That and the huge frame rate drop. All right, buddy. You're a cutie, but unfortunately duty calls. Duties before cuties? Is that a... Yeah, well, yeah, duties before cuties. Why not? Oh, there they are fighting back there. A little dance fight over here. It's pretty cool to look at, actually. Pretty cool to look at. Let's go ahead and... Did one just clip through into the... Yep. Well, all right. Well, I guess you made the decision for me, Praneel. Over here, let's go ahead and release her into the wild. Away you go. Beautiful. I mean, hey, he lost the fight. Animal is not in ideal temperature. Well, that's because you haven't been brought back yet. I forget. Have I already? Yes, I have. And they are running through, bringing the animals in. We got to make sure people are able to walk through this space. It looks like they are. No issues. That's good. That's good. We also, of course, have to make sure that people are able to walk through this space without any issues. There was a suggestion that we get rid of the path connection and just make it a boat connection. That seems mean. That seems mean. It's like microtransactions. It's like DLC content. Oh, you paid $70 to get into the zoo, but to get to the India section, you have to pay an extra $10 or whatever it might be. That seems mean. Are we ready to actually activate the boats as well? I don't think just yet. What's up with the elephant here? Apart from looking like he's dead, which he isn't. The habitat is fully accessible. Yes, you're able to get everywhere. More than enough hard shelter. Toy enrichment is a little low, which I'm not a fan of that, obviously, but I think we're looking okay. And the views have got to be pretty cool as well. The views have got to be pretty cool. And I hope that the elephants are able to be delivered from there. I mean, I wish we could see someone come through. As you can see, if the elephant is not dropped off inside, then they can't actually get inside. I'm a little worried about this area over here, if I am completely honest. Trying to figure out how we can better integrate the entry point over here. I could just get rid of this section over here, I suppose. Right, get rid of the pillars over here. If we want them back, we can always add them back relatively easily. It's not a big deal. We can do that, and that's got to make it easy to get to. But what we're going to do, though, let me just check here real quick. Reversible area. Yep, it includes that. And, okay, good. It does not include the sides, because I don't want the elephants to be able to hide in the sides over there. That would be really, unfortunate for our guests, obviously. Yeah, feeling pretty good about this. Our inspector is not due for a while, I guess. What are we looking at here? Some vet research has been completed. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go ahead and get you working on maybe the tigers over here, get the advanced research happening. But sorry, I wanted to see staff are having a queue. That's okay. They're just bringing the crocs out. A couple of things. I wanted to see crime. Yep. Gut feeling. And I wanted to see guests overall. People are pretty happy. It looks like thirst is a bit of a problem again, but we can sort that out. Report. Is this our latest report? Maybe. Maybe this is our latest report. Not 100% sure. Oh, you know what's another thing that's left to do here is lighting. We got some lighting done, but there's still a fair bit of lighting to do with lighting up the like the resting areas and stuff. It'll be easy enough though. Thankfully, we have like lots of flat surfaces where we can attach the spotlights without having to worry too much about like in terms of realism. It's pretty easy to pull off, thankfully, because we have the giant like roof structure over here. But obviously, I want to figure out like colors and things like that. Completely forgot about lighting again. Whoops. Whoops. All right, let's go ahead and sort you out, buddy. There we go. Yeah, so when night falls, we'll be able to do some lighting work. I want people to come over here and watch. I mean, this is a pretty cool viewing angle. It's a pretty cool spot to view these animals from. Oh, look at that. I mean, that's a cool spot to view from. Can you imagine? Oh, man. Where is our other elephant? And you're able to cross this, no problem. Mechanic's able to come through and do repairs. Adya, why are you in the trade center? Why are you in the trade center? That's not okay. Adya, let's go ahead and move you into here. Wasn't she due a baby elephant? Thought we were due a baby elephant. Alright, what are you doing here, buddy? This is pretty neat, actually. Oh, it looks so good at night. And I wonder if we turn on the boat rides as well. I suppose we could. There's no reason not to, right? We've got prices set. We've got boat numbers set and everything. Max speed. I guess I could set you up a little bit. Habitat cleanliness is a disease risk. Well, let's go ahead and open you. What's the deal here? Habitat 24. Well, let's go ahead and call a keeper. Pandas are doing okay. They just made it earlier this session. Got another antelope about to mature. Lots going on here, folks. Lots going on here. Where is our elephant? Okay, the weirdest issue happened there, folks. My recording software actually crashed partway through me finishing the recording. So the last, like, 15 or so minutes of the episode got dropped off. I think where we ended up, I'm going to try and remember what I already said and what I didn't already say, so I'm not repeating myself like a broken record. But what's ended up happening is we, for some reason, Adya here was in storage, so I brought her back out. I'm not sure why she ended up in storage. Something must have gone wrong, but I brought her back out, and I can't remember now. I could have sworn we were expecting a baby, weren't we? I know we were expecting tiger cubs, and we got our tiger cubs. We saw our tiger cubs, but I thought we were expecting an elephant baby as well. Nonetheless, we'll deal with that some other time. Apart from that, the only thing I said, which maybe got cut out, is that I wanted to hear what y'all thought about what we should do next. I can't remember. Again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but next session, I definitely want to complete the elephant enclosure. I feel like we've done a good bit of work. I can't remember if the lighting is in the episode now or not, but we got some lighting in as well. Need to do a bit more lighting work. Need to complete the roofing. I wasn't really sure about what I was doing with the roofing, which is part of the reason why I stopped the time lapse as well. So, maybe I just need to go back to the drawing board and figure out exactly what I want to do with the roofing over here. I got to complete this entire enclosure, which shouldn't take too long, and then we have to shift our gaze to, I don't know what's next. Do we go back to Yanasi Plains and try to complete this? Maybe we get polar bears in the next couple of sessions. Maybe sometime in February we got polar bears. We're making some decent money lately, and to those of you that like seeing financial management, sorry, I try to remember to do this all the time, but I keep forgetting. Some of you like to see how the numbers all stack up. Looks like a lot of refunds lately. It might be because we were messing around with the crocs and whatnot, so I think that might be what caused the refunds. But apart from that, we're still making some decent money, some serious cash, which is good to see. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I just want to mention really quickly, folks, now I can't remember if I mentioned this in the time lapse or before the cut, but hopefully you don't mind me mentioning it. I try to keep it to only once a month, folks, but just want to say that if you've been enjoying this series and you've been watching along, it's been over 40 episodes now. We're at the 41st episode, so it's been well over an average of an hour and a half per episode. If you've been enjoying and watching along, first of all, I want to make it very clear, I greatly appreciate that you've joined me on this massive journey. It's always fun to have company with this kind of stuff. I just want to mention that if you'd like to support the channel beyond viewing and commenting and things like that, you can opt to become a patron or perhaps a channel member. If you'd like to become a patron, check out the link to Patreon under the I at the top right corner of the screen, or in the description down below. And if you don't want to do Patreon, you can also become a channel member by clicking the join button that's right underneath the video. Again, it's not an obligation at all. It's just, it really helps the channel. It really helps support the channel, and it means a lot. But as I always say, it's not necessary. I appreciate you being here to watch, comment, like, subscribe, and share. It really all makes a very big difference. And I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all the support. So yes, thank you. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons. We got a bunch of new channel members and patrons actually in January and December, so thank you and welcome. And of course, a big thank you to all of you who've been supporting for so very, very long. It really means a lot. Thank you very much. And of course, a thanks goes out to all of you for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing. Y'all are, like I said at the beginning of this episode, y'all are great. Just amazing. Until next time. Cheers.